Welcome to the People Data Warehouse People Brand Standards Report. Before we begin, allow me to share why the PBS report can be helpful to you. The PBS report allows users to understand what specific people metrics are being sent to PwC prior to your PBS visits. You can also use this report to forecast which employees are due to complete PBS required trainings and identify which employees are past due. Lastly, this report allows you to view employee-level information to identify opportunities for improvement. Now that you know a little bit about this report and how it can be helpful, let's dive into a brief demo. Now, once you are in PDW, you'll want to navigate to the far left of your screen. Click on a report to see a drop-down list of available reports. To find the PBS report, you'll want to go to the Training tab and click it. Now, once you are in the PBS report, it is always best to start with the Controls tab at the top. This will let you specify the data that you want to see, such as job group, job category, and the specific date. Additionally, if you have any questions about this report, there's also a link to the PBS user guide right below the Controls area. Now, once you have set your controls appropriately, the report calculates below. So let's talk about what you'll see. The 7 boxes you see at the top here all align with various People Brand Standards metrics, such as percentage of stores with the HU grad, stores completing the SMG listening survey, and shift leaders who completed courses with 9 months of being enrolled. You'll also see your metrics for workplace violence and safe and respectful and inclusive workplace training compliance. Now, if you scroll down a little bit further in the report, you'll next stop at the store level data around the PBS metrics. This allows users to see a snapshot of PBS performance for all of the restaurants that were selected. You'll also note some of the metrics are color-coded. Green indicates that at the time of this report, the restaurant is in compliance with the designated PBS standard, and red indicates an opportunity to address for the restaurant in order to be in PBS compliance. Now, if you scroll a little bit further down in the report, you'll also see some additional graphs that can help users forecast and follow up. The first set of graphs is a forecasting feature for key PBS metrics. This would be a great metric to check on regularly to ensure all employees stay compliant within the specific PBS standard shown. Each of these graphs allows users the capability to drill into employee detail. And to do that, you'll click on the column, and that will allow you to go to Employee Detail Report and see which employees need to complete specific training by the certain date in order to stay compliant. Now, the next part of the report is the past due training portion. And this is also a great section to check on regularly, as training sometimes falls through the cracks as the restaurants get busy. Here you can click specific metrics and again dive into employee details to follow up and ensure that the training gets done. Speaking of employee details, let's take a peek at the employee detail view. This can be found by clicking the tab labeled Employee Detail that is located to the right of the Summary tab found at the top of the report. And as with every tab in all reports, there is a controls area that allows users to filter by restaurant, job group, and job code. Again, once your controls have been selected, you'll be able to scroll down and see the list of employees and all of the People Brand Standards criteria. Here you'll be able to see what criteria each employee is eligible for, if that criteria has been or has not been met, and or if each employee is in their grace period for the certain PBS criteria. Now, you'll notice that some of the criteria is grayed out, and this indicates that the specific PBS standard does not apply to that particular employee. Now, before we end this report, I'd also like to share some tips when navigating this part of the report. When looking at the data, you will notice an asterisk next to certain dates for each employee. This asterisk indicates that the date is the starting point for the 14-day grace period for certain associated PBS standards, such as 9B, as well as safe and respectful workplace and workplace violence trainings. The second tip I'd like to share is that it may be easier to freeze your columns within this report to help you view the report more seamlessly. In order to do this, you'll want to navigate to the column headers as shown. Click the header and choose Freeze up to this column. This will then freeze all the data to the left, allowing you to stabilize that data. Then, as you see, you can scroll to the right and you'll be able to view each and every single PBS criteria and what the status level is for each of those individual employees. Hopefully you found value in reviewing this video. Keep in mind that these insights can help you see whether your team is on track to meet standards with PBS or whether there's opportunity. Scan the QR code on the screen to go to the People Brand Standards User Guide that goes a little bit more in depth into everything we went over today. Thank you.